Hello, calculus fans. Okay, so we're going to start talking about the product and quotient rules. So in the last section, we proved this, that the derivative of a sum is the sum of the derivatives. And so this allows you, when you have a whole bunch of functions that you're adding up, you want to take a derivative, you can just go ahead and take the derivative of each piece and then add them up. So we want to know what happens if there's multiplication here instead of addition. So it's pretty tempting to try to say this. What happens when you differentiate a product? Do you just get the product of the derivatives? Well, it turns out that this actually does not work very often. As a matter of fact, it almost never works. Let's just try an easy example to see what happens. So what happens if f of x is equal to x squared and g of x is equal to x cubed? Then if we multiply those together, we'll get x to the fifth. So what happens if we take the derivative of the product? Well, if we differentiate the product, we're talking about differentiating x to the fifth, and we just get 5x to the fourth. Now let's see what happens when we differentiate them individually and then multiply together the derivatives. So if we're going to multiply together the derivatives, we have to first differentiate x squared, and then we have to differentiate x cubed. You see, we're taking these functions and differentiating them separately. And so let's see what we get. So using the power rule, the derivative of x squared is equal to 2x, and the derivative of x cubed is equal to 3x squared. Let's simplify that. So we'll get 6x cubed. So what you should see is that if you differentiate the product, you get 5x to the fourth. If you multiply the derivatives, you get 6x cubed. That means that this formula really does not work. If you want to take the derivative of a product, you cannot actually just differentiate each piece and multiply them together. Oh well, too bad. So what I'm going to do now is show you the actual formula. Okay, so this is what we've proven. We've proven that the derivative of the product is not equal to the product of the derivatives. Okay, so what is the actual formula? Now the book has a very nice write-up on how you discover and prove the correct rule. I would suggest that you read through that so that you can see how the formula comes about. So let me show you the formula. So the formula is something called the product rule. And it says that if you have two functions, f and g, which are differentiable, then the derivative of f times g is equal to f of x times the derivative of g of x plus g of x times the derivative of f of x. Now I'm going to show you the same thing using the Lagrange notation. And that is, if you want to differentiate f times g, and so that's why I put the prime outside of the whole thing, it's equal to fg prime plus f prime g. Either way you want to write it is fine. And that's all for now.